talk about the lessons I learned this summer, and I'll give my little Yelp review of the internship program here at Reeves Young. So to start off with some background, I'm currently a student at Georgia Tech, and I'll be graduating.
He's wearing red too.
St. John's Pioneers red. Student at Georgia Tech, I'll be graduating in May with a bachelor's in civil engineering, and much of my education at Georgia Tech is more on the design side, whereas obviously in the construction business it's more on the execution side. So a lot of what I did and learned this summer was not taught in any class that I could ever take at Georgia Tech, so I had a great time with it. The work that I did was in the pre-construction department, and if I had to sum up pre-con in one short, simple sentence, it'd be, we price jobs. And so, my little part of that, first off, was quantity takeoffs. So using a software called on-screen takeoff, we would take a look at the plans for every job, and then we would essentially just, it'd be high-tech coloring to get the quantities of every material that would be involved in that job. So here you can see a little screen cap from the Cherokee Veterans Park, Maintenance Building E. You can see coloring the metal siding, gutters, things like that, so we can get those quantities and plug it into our estimate. The next big thing that I did was managing the subcontractor bids. So we use an online program called iSquareFoot, and with iSquareFoot, we send out invitations to bidders for subcontractors. And the subcontractors, they can mark will bid, won't bid, not sure, and if they're not sure, then that's when me and the other interns come in, we contact them, we say, hey, what do you need, how can we help? And we answer their questions, clarify their scopes, and everything like that so that we can get their bids on time so that we can put that into our estimate and make sure it's accurate. So these are just some of the projects I worked on. I guess these are the meat of the summer for me. Over on the left there, those are the water resources jobs that I did. Johnson Creek, River Bend, Clear Creek, and then the Yale Water Hub. And then I also dabbled in commercial a little bit with Chuck. And on the battery block C parking deck, the Cherokee Veterans Park, Maintenance Building E, the GJAC temporary service lot, and then the Reeves Young office interior build out. So certainly the most unique project that I worked on this summer was the Yale Water Hub. So the Yale Water Hub is currently still in the design phase, but what it's being designed to do is to treat wastewater and then provide reclaimed water to the Yale campus. So they're probably going to use it for steam plant, the chiller plant, even to flush toilets, things that they don't necessarily need potable water for, but they still need fresh water for. And ultimately the water hub will save Yale money on utility costs and diminish their water demand. So two birds with one stone there. So my end of the Yale Water Hub was that I worked with Ty while we were doing the final concept design pricing. So we had drawings that were only a little bit better than napkin sketches. So using those and on-screen takeoff, I did all the takeoffs that I could with those sketches. But definitely my favorite part of the job was when we did the concrete structure and CMU structure as well. So to get the material pricing for that, we had to make a 3D model that you can see here. And Ty sent me loose on SketchUp. I'd never used it before, which it's a 3D modeling program. So it was a lot of fun to figure out the little quirks of that program and get this 3D model that you see here so we can get the volumes for the material pricing and then the surface area for the formwork pricing. So if I had to divide the lessons I learned this summer, I divide them into technical skills and industry skills. As far as technical skills, I've become a whole lot better at reading and understanding building plans. That's a skill that we spent maybe 40 minutes on in one class in my experience at Georgia Tech. So there was a lot of improvement there. And I also learned how to use that important industry software like on-screen takeoff, iSquareFoot, SketchUp, those kind of things. As far as industry skills go, I gained a much better perspective on the different facets of the bidding process. So the difference between a hard bid and design build job, how to work with a larger general contractor like Holder to deliver dependable on-time service, whether it's for design pricing or final construction pricing. I also learned how to work with subcontractors because there's a specific language for each subcontractor because a painting sub is going to look at a job a heck of a lot differently than, say, a metal wall panel sub or a piping sub. So you have to learn how to deal with the different kind of subs. And also learn some of the, I guess, bedside manner you'd call it, which sometimes comes with the often competitive business that is construction. And also learn how to understand and solve the problems that arise in the construction business. I learned what resources I have at my disposal, besides just the people around me in Google. So that was a big skill. And then I also learned to become a much better technical communicator because the problems that we deal with in construction are often very specific and sometimes complex. So I certainly improved in that regard. Now for my review of the Reeves Young internship program. I start off by saying that my experience this summer was overwhelmingly positive. I think a lot of that stems from the fact that in pre-con, we're a winning team, and everyone wants to be on a winning team, right? No one wants to play for the Browns, but everyone wants to play for the Pats. My 2 points of critique, though, first off, would be for the intern training, which is to say that it's all on the job. There's not a lot of formal literature describing what our role is, what our tasks are, and things like that. So it took a lot of initiative and a lot of asking questions and bugging Ty every 10 minutes to figure out what the heck was going on and what I was supposed to be doing. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. That's a good skill to have, to be able to ask questions and learn like that. But I think some people could get lost somewhere along the line there. I'd also say that sometimes there wasn't always a clear view of the bigger picture here at the company. Sometimes it wasn't always clear who reports to who and through which channels issues are supposed to flow. So I think maybe if we had some literature in that regard and some clarification of roles and duties, that would probably, I guess, help out getting a better perspective on the bigger picture. But lastly, Reeves Young is the kind of company I want to work for because the people here are positive, they know what they're doing, and everyone wants to help out each other so that we can all succeed as a team. So to wrap it up, I give you a little background on myself. I went through the work I did this summer, the lessons I learned, and then I gave you my review of the internship program. This concludes my presentation. Are there any questions?
I will say, I think the U.S. Air Force is going to be much better once you get it.
Don't do it. Too late now.
Any question for you? So the work environment in pre-con and particularly the location that you were in, what were the ups and the downside of kind of being at that desk in the middle of the fishbowl, so to say?
I'd say the downside is it's very clear just in that I don't have an office. So if I'm trying to make phone calls and then, you know, a business unit leader and a couple estimators are working in that open bid room trying to hammer out an estimate, then it can be a loud area sometimes. So I think certainly that's, I guess, a limiting factor in that regard. But positive, like I said, asking questions was huge for me learning this summer. And just being in the middle of it, literally I could yell to anyone in the estimating department, Charlie, show me, am I supposed to do this? Ty, hey, is this how I do this? Billy, do you know this? So that was definitely helpful that I could just reach out to anyone at any time. Any other questions?
So in the intern manual, you know, that we're putting together, we probably ought to put the org chart in there. At least so that when they're coming in, they know who's reporting to who, and, you know, because I think he's got a good point. And you wouldn't know, right, unless we're kind of giving you an idea. And we're updating that all the time.
So it literally is too late for the Air Force? Like,
Raise the right hand and sign the dotted line.
So how long are you in for?
When I graduate, it'll be 4 years active duty service commitment.
Well, congratulations.
We're sending him to Memphis to go hang out with Bobby, because one night with the law and he gets kicked out of the Air Force and we're good. So, that's our goal right now.
Yeah, I think I asked Bobby about his last 2 nights, how exciting those were.
Hope he wasn't at Hammerheads.
He had to go to
But Billy was,
he
though.
had to go to driver safety course. I don't think he'll drive over 40 miles an hour from now on.
It's genetics.
Hush.
Don't have to ride with Eric yesterday.
You still,
Is that it?
Thank you, man.